You might be taking supplements to protect yourself, but unknowingly, you're destroying your brain or damaging your organs because of a wrong combination. Millions of seniors make this mistake every day. And the scariest part, no doctor will warn you before it's too late. Some of these combinations seem harmless, like mixing magnesium with another common supplement. But in adults over 60, this can accelerate memory loss, cause constant fatigue, low blood pressure, brain fog, and even mild paralysis. And that's just the beginning. Today I'm going to reveal the 5 worst combinations of vitamins and minerals that no one should take after 60. One of them directly affects the brain and may be slowly shrinking your memories. But there's a simple way to protect yourself, and I'm going to show you how. Stay until the end, because one of these dangerous combinations might be in your medicine drawer right now, and you don't even know it. And of course, subscribe to the channel. This way, you'll receive content that helps you and the people you love live longer with autonomy, clarity, and abundant energy. Dangerous. Combination 1. Calcium plus zinc. You've probably heard that calcium is essential for bones, and that zinc helps with immunity, taste, and wound healing. Both are important, right? But what almost no one tells you is that mixing the two in the same capsule or taking them at the same time might be sabotaging both supplements at once and even causing an invisible effect: progressive bone weakening. This combination is more common than it seems, especially in multivitamins marketed for seniors. Many include zinc and calcium in the same formula for convenience, but they don't explain what happens in your body when both enter together. The mechanism is simple, but the impact is huge. Calcium and zinc compete with each other to be absorbed in the small intestine. In other words, if you take both at the same time, your body simply rejects part of the absorption of both minerals. The result? You think you're protecting yourself, but in reality, you're throwing money away and leaving your bones and immune system vulnerable. And more seriously, this silent deficiency may be related to symptoms many seniors ignore, like brittle nails, knee pain, muscle weakness, and even unexplained healing problems. Want a curious fact? A study from the University of Oregon showed that seniors who took calcium and zinc together had 32% less zinc absorption and an increased risk of bone loss in bone density scans after 12 months. So how do you fix this? Simple. Separate the times. Take zinc after breakfast or lunch and calcium in the late afternoon or evening. This gives your body time to absorb each mineral without conflict. And if possible, avoid multivitamins that combine both. They may seem convenient, but they're harmful for people over 60. Now, if you feel bone pain, muscle weakness, or constantly low immunity, the problem might not be a lack of supplements, but how you're using them, and the next mistake could be even more dangerous, especially if you take vitamins for energy. One of these stimulants could be stealing your essential nutrients and making you even more tired throughout the day. Dangerous. Combination 2. Vitamin B6 plus caffeine. Many seniors start their day with an energy capsule. Whether it's a multivitamin with B-complex, a focus supplement, or those formulas labeled as revitalizers, the promise is always the same: more energy, less fatigue, sharper mind. And to top it off, there's the traditional black coffee at breakfast, as if this combo were the perfect fuel to get through the day with vitality. But there's a detail that almost no one notices. The mix of vitamin B6 and caffeine may seem beneficial at first glance, but in reality, it's sabotaging your body, and you don't even suspect it. Vitamin B6, when consumed in appropriate doses, plays important roles. It participates in the formation of neurotransmitters, regulates amino acid metabolism, and supports proper nerve function. Caffeine, on the other hand, is a stimulant that increases alertness, activates the central nervous system, and is therefore often associated with mental focus. The problem begins when the two are taken together, especially by people over 60, who naturally already have a slower metabolism and greater sensitivity to stimulation. When B6 is present in high doses and enters the body at the same time as caffeine, it amplifies and prolongs the stimulant effect on the nervous system. The body then enters a state of heightened alertness that lasts longer than it should. Early in the day, it might even seem like it worked. You feel more energetic, move around more, and get the impression you're being productive. But as the hours go by, fatigue sets in, and it's not ordinary fatigue. It's a heavy mental exhaustion, a state of irritability, difficulty concentrating, and in many cases, broken sleep at night, even when the body is physically tired. In the long term, this overload can deeply affect quality of life. What seems to be a solution for fighting morning fatigue actually creates a vicious cycle. You feel tired, take something to wake up. The body responds, but then exacts a heavy toll. The fatigue accumulates, thinking slows down, the mind feels foggy. And the worst part, the cause isn't always identified, because the supplement or coffee is associated with the idea of well-being. There's another critical point few people know. Excess vitamin B6 can cause a condition called sensory neuropathy. It's a type of nerve damage in the peripheral nerves that starts with tingling in the hands and feet, loss of sensitivity, and difficulty holding small objects. Many assume this is just a sign of aging or a result of poor circulation, but it may be directly related to the daily and prolonged use of high doses of B6, especially in combination with caffeine. The solution is simple, but it requires attention. Avoid taking energy supplements or vitamin complexes along with coffee. Allow at least a 2-hour gap between caffeine consumption and any supplement containing B6, and more importantly, watch the dosage. Many multivitamins provide 10 to 20 milligrams of B6 in a single capsule, when what most seniors need is around 1.5 to 2 milligrams per day. It's a silent excess that can bring serious consequences over time. Now, if you've ever felt tired even after a good night's sleep, unexplained irritability in the late afternoon, or noticed increased sensitivity in your hands, it's worth paying attention to this routine. Maybe the energy you're chasing early in the morning is draining your vitality throughout the day. And speaking of silent side effects, the next combination is a real trap for your liver, and in some cases, it can even affect your skin and digestion without you realizing it. Dangerous combination 3, magnesium plus high doses of vitamin D3. If you're over 60, it's very likely. You've heard that magnesium and vitamin D3 are essential for healthy aging. One helps relax muscles, improves sleep, and reduces constipation. The other strengthens bones, regulates the immune system, and even protects against infections. Both, on their own, seem like allies of longevity. But what many don't know is that when combined incorrectly or taken in excessive doses, these two supplements can pose a silent and devastating risk directly to your brain. And here, we're not talking about an aggressive, immediate interaction. We're talking about a slow, subtle erosion that gradually compromises cognitive function while you believe you're taking care of your health. The mechanism behind this is more common than it seems. When vitamin D3 is administered in high doses, something common in modern formulas, delivering 5,000 to 10,000 IU per capsule, it significantly increases calcium absorption. Magnesium, in turn, is necessary for vitamin D to be activated in the body. Apparently, a good duo. But there's a catch. This increase in calcium absorption is not always accompanied by proper elimination. The result: calcium builds up in tissues where it shouldn't be, like the brain's arteries. Recent studies have shown that subclinical hypercalcemia, a mild but constant excess of calcium in the blood, can promote the calcification of the blood vessels that supply the brain. This reduces oxygen flow to critical areas like the hippocampus, which is responsible for short and long-term memory. And yes, this can happen even without symptoms like excessive thirst or tingling, which are the most typical signs. The damage, in this case, is cumulative and silent. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism followed seniors who were supplementing with combined D3 and magnesium for more than 6 months. The group consuming more than 5,000 IU per day of D3 and over 350 milligrams of magnesium showed a significant reduction in concentration capacity, increased daily forgetfulness, and a higher prevalence of small silent brain infarcts identified through imaging exams even in people without a history of stroke or hypertension. In other words, while trying to strengthen their bones, they were unknowingly sabotaging their brains. And the most ironic part, many started this routine with the hope of aging well. They took their capsules with discipline, believing they were doing the best for their health. But they didn't know that, after a certain age, the brain becomes more vulnerable to excess minerals, especially if the body already shows signs of slowed kidney function, which hinders the filtering of such waste. So, what should you do? The basic recommendation is to avoid high doses of vitamin D3 without medical supervision. For most seniors, 2,000 IU per day is more than enough, and even then, vitamin D and calcium blood levels should be monitored. As for magnesium, although essential, it should not exceed 350 milligrams per day for people with compromised kidney function. And more importantly, don't take both together. Leave at least a 6 to 8 hour gap between them and prioritize by and safe forms such as magnesium malate or glycinate, which place less burden on the body. Oh, and if you're taking this combination to boost memory, know that there is an even greater threat most people don't know about. Scientists are calling them memory-sucking toxins. They're present in the environment, in food, and even in processed supplements. And the most shocking part, they directly attack the production of acetylcholine, the most important neurotransmitter for your memory. These toxins are behind the alarming rise in cognitive problems among adults, 50 plus, affecting over 200 million people worldwide. And if you've been forgetting simple words, names, tasks, or recent appointments, it might not be age. It could be an early sign that your brain is being drained from the inside out. And if that's your case, there's a piece of content you need to watch right now. It reveals in detail how these toxins silently attack the brain and presents a natural, safe, evidence-based path to stop this process. Click the link in the comments, because this information could literally preserve your mind for years to come. And of course, the next combination might seem harmless, but it's leaving many seniors' bodies inflamed, stiff, and vulnerable to falls. Dangerous combination. 4. Omega-3 plus synthetic vitamin EF. You've already added omega to 3 your routine. Congratulations! It's one of the most recommended supplements for protecting the heart, reducing inflammation, and even improving brain health in adults over 60. But the problem is that in an attempt to enhance omega's effects, many formulas on the market add vitamin E. And not just any vitamin E, but the synthetic version, known as D-L-phytocopherol. And this combination, when poorly formulated, may be causing silent inflammation, joint pain, and even an increased risk of falls. Yes, you read that right. A supplement that's supposed to help your knees and your balance may, in practice, be making your movements even harder. All because of the wrong form of antioxidant. Let's understand why this happens. Omega-3 is a polyunsaturated fatty acid that is extremely sensitive to oxidation. This means that if it's exposed to oxygen or heat, it can quickly degrade, losing its benefits, and worse, turning into an inflammatory agent inside the body. To prevent this, manufacturers add antioxidants, and vitamin E is the most used. The problem begins when that vitamin E is the synthetic version, which is neither absorbed nor used by the mature body in the same way. On the contrary, it competes with the natural version of vitamin E in the body, blocking its action and disrupting the balance of the internal antioxidant systems. And the impact, instead of reducing inflammation, as omega-3s is supposed to do, this combination begins to worsen chronic pain, especially in joints already sensitive due to age. Furthermore, it interferes with the flexibility of cell membranes, hindering communication between the muscles and the brain. This makes reflexes slower, coordination more unstable, and balance more fragile, significantly increasing the risk of falls in simple environments, like the bathroom or kitchen. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology showed that seniors who regularly consumed omega-3 with synthetic vitamin E had elevated inflammatory markers in their blood and reported more episodes of morning muscle stiffness, along with progressive worsening in walking stability, all while believing they were strengthening their bodies. The trap lies precisely in the appearance of the solution. When you read with vitamin E, it sounds like a good thing, but most consumers have no idea that there's a huge difference between D-L-phytocopherol synthetic version and D-L-phytocopherol natural version. This difference, though small on the label, has a radically different effect inside your body. If you want to keep taking omega-3, and you should, because it's truly powerful when well formulated, the tip is simple. Check the label. Avoid any version that lists D-L-phytocopherol as the source of vitamin E. Prioritize supplements that use the natural version, or better yet, those without artificial antioxidants, since your body already gets vitamin E from food when your diet is balanced. And if you feel that even while taking supplements, you still experience stiffness, pain, or difficulty with balance, this could be one of the invisible causes no one has told you about until now. But the next mistake could be even more subtle. It involves a mineral essential for nerve and muscle health, but when combined with another supplement often used for digestion, it can create a dangerous side effect: toxin retention in the blood and kidney overload. If you've ever woken up with swollen hands or feet, or felt a strange discomfort after a seemingly harmless supplement, stay with me, because this next combination might finally give you an answer. Dangerous. Combination 5. Potassium plus magnesium chloride supplements. Many seniors take potassium and magnesium with the intention of relieving cramps, strengthening muscles, and regulating blood pressure. And in fact, these two minerals are essential for the proper functioning of the aging body. Potassium directly influences muscle contraction, heartbeat, and the prevention of arrhythmias. Magnesium, in turn, relaxes muscles, improves sleep, and reduces chronic pain. But there is a specific combination between them. that has been concerning doctors and researchers. Using potassium, along with magnesium chloride, may be putting the kidneys under constant pressure, and worse. Without you realizing it, as we age, the kidneys naturally lose part of their ability to filter and eliminate excess electrolytes. This means the body takes longer to get rid of minerals like potassium, especially when consumed in supplement form. When potassium is combined with magnesium chloride, the risk of mild hyperkalemia, a light accumulation of potassium in the blood, increases significantly. This excess usually doesn't cause obvious symptoms at first, but it can trigger a series of problems that gradually intensify: swelling in the hands and feet, irregular heartbeat, fatigue even after rest, and in some cases, tingling and shortness of breath. Magnesium chloride, on the other hand, is known for its laxative effects and for promoting muscle relaxation. However, it can also cause fluid retention and interfere with the excretion of other minerals, which further worsens the condition when combined with potassium. What once seemed like a solution for pain and cramps may be silently affecting kidney health and, consequently, the overall balance of the body. A study published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology followed seniors who regularly used potassium, with and without magnesium chloride. Those using the combination showed a higher incidence of elevated urea and creatinine, two markers of kidney function, and a considerable number experienced episodes of extreme fatigue, mild disorientation, and a feeling of pressure in the head, symptoms often mistaken for stress or normal aging. The truth is that the mature body needs balance. Potassium and magnesium are allies, yes, but they must be administered with caution. At different times, and with careful attention to dosage, the general recommendation is to never exceed 350 milligrams of magnesium in the form of chloride per day, and to keep potassium within the levels suggested by food intake, avoiding supplementation without supervision. Ideally, there should be at least an 8-hour interval between the intake of each, and you should always observe how your body reacts. Signs like puffy eyes in the morning, heavy legs, or darker urine should be taken seriously. Now, even if you avoid these dangerous combinations, there is still one mistake that might be compromising your results, and it's more related to behavior than to the supplement itself. In the next and final section, we're going to talk about the most common practice among seniors when taking vitamins, one that ends up canceling out most of the benefits and causing a waste of money. Get ready, because you might be making this mistake without even realizing it. Which of these supplements do you already take? Tell us in the comments, because we all want to help you overcome this challenge and live with more clarity, energy, and autonomy. And subscribe to the channel now. It helps this information reach more people who don't have easy access to books, articles, or clear medical guidance. And if you're taking care of your brain, you need to watch this other video. It reveals which vitamins can help your legs regain strength and lightness, as if time had turned back 20 years. Yes, there's a powerful connection between circulation, strength, and longevity that almost no one talks about. Click now and find out.